All right, all right. Welcome, friends. We are back for another episode of the Eventful Life, Living Out Loud. And I am your host, Janelle Boyd. So excited, of course, as always, to have you guys back again, especially as we are in the month of August. So I think you guys remember last week I shared with you that for the month of August, we are focusing on back to school and just all the nuances that are coming along with trying to figure out what this is supposed to look like for our kids and for us as moms and mompreneurs, parents, just all of that. So I'm excited to have you guys back, and I'm excited to bring you my next guest, which is DeKesha Williams. She is the CEO of Visions Consulting, and she is a mompreneur herself. So I'm really excited to have her here, and we're going to be talking about it takes a village. But who is in yours? Because we know that the village has shifted and changed, DeKesha. It is, it's not the same as it used to be. I think about back in, my mom's day, my grandmother's day, where it was like everybody kind of, pitched in, pitched in, helped with the kids. Where, just fill in the gaps where needed, even, teachers, things like that. And so fast forward now, it's kind of, shifting. I was talking to a friend the other day and she was like, this whole COVID situation is really causing some strife for her because she doesn't have family nearby. So it's like really just been all on her. So let's jump in, and I know because I listen.
They might not want to hear my story because see, my story is not like that.
That's okay though. That's what makes it so beautiful is that everybody has a different story and different experiences to bring to the table. And honestly, it is what I love about these conversations because somebody out there, some mom, some mompreneur, she's going to be listening to you and she's going to be able to grab something from what you're saying, regardless of whether your experience is like 100% opposite than hers or if it is just alike. So I'm gonna throw the mic to you so you can kind of share what was your experience growing up as to a village.
So hey everybody, my name is DeKesha Williams. Super excited about being here today, and yes, mompreneur for the last 8.5 years. And so growing up, we had to have that village. My mom was working in the factory industry, DuPont. And so she worked shift, graveyards and things like that.
Yeah.
So it was nothing for me to be with grandma. It was nothing for me to be with auntie. I had like 3 aunties that I would hang out with. I got one auntie, we used to watch the car on Saturday. So, and then we go in the house and watch Jane Bond movies.
Yeah.
So that's how I grew up. And so it was a matter of, okay, which auntie gonna have us this week?
I love that. Which auntie?
Which auntie is going to have us? Or cousin Dee Dee, you going to Granny's house this Saturday? Because I'm going to be at Granny's house. Ask your mama if you can go to Granny's house. Now, one of us going to get a beating because we in the room laughing and giggling.
I love that, though, because honestly, that's what I remember, as well. And I think a lot of people, again, can identify with that, maybe with their upbringing, and maybe not, everybody's village looks different, but I can identify with what you're saying because I was the same. It was like, I was at my great aunt's house, when I was growing up. She would be cooking biscuits and all kind of stuff, in the kitchen. And then she's like, baby, come in here and eat, and I might just be there for a couple of hours because she watching me, but she gonna feed me to death before I leave, and then my grandmother was there. And so I was always with her, had a great, close relationship with her. So there were always these instrumental, people that were an extension of my mom's village, who, even her coworkers, like I can remember coming to my mom did hair back in the day. I can remember coming to the salon and the coworkers like, oh, hey, baby, and so they all,
right,
they had
everybody
work,
knows.
but they all like, surrounded me, and they like, okay, pulling me in, like, okay, let me find something for you to do. Come play with these toys, or I got something over here for you to do, so it was just like that, you know?
And so what I noticed for me is I tried to create that same atmosphere for my children.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to their cousins, when it comes to grandma, it doesn't take much for our family to create a reason to get together. So, right now, like we are really struggling with, because I mean, you could get a B on your report card and we're like, oh, we're partying this weekend, right?
Right. That family unit was so important. And so it sounds like you have also, like you said, kind of mirrored that, or looked to mirror that even with your own kids, and making sure that now, does all your family live in the same area? No. Or are they, okay, so talk about a little bit
everywhere. Christmas is in Stafford, Virginia. Thanksgiving might be in Woodbridge. We got family in the Richmond, Virginia area. We have family in Maryland, Northern Virginia.
Oh, wow.
They are literally all over the place. And so, sometimes we just have to kind of pack up the car and let's hit the highway and let's go.
Right.
But the beautiful thing about it is they all come together. And right before like COVID-19, like my daughter, everyone came out to one of her last meet. Like it was actually one of the last meet that was.
And you guys didn't know that was going to be the last. We had no idea.
One. So when I say cousins, second, third cousins, all the aunties, everybody, grandma was there. Like they were all there. And so we had a great time. We walked like in DC, a couple of blocks down, and had grabbed some lunch or whatever, but it was just a beautiful thing that the kids or something like that will bring them out. Like they will travel, 2 hours just to come down to Chesterfield or Richmond to see Jaden play football. I mean, and that's just kind of, and even so when I was reading the topic, like, in collegiate gymnastics, she was in Denver, she was in California. I wasn't always able to go to all of them. But you know what? The parents would take video for me and send me a video.
Yes.
I'm like, my dude. Thank you, Robert. I love, so I love my GW family. They get it. And so
because they're filling in the gaps. They're like, hey, okay, DeKesha can't be here this time. So you know what? I'm gonna get a video, send it to her. Make sure
absolutely. Real time.
Make sure she knows that her kid is taken care of, and that they still feel loved. They still know that somebody is here, rooting them on in your, on your behalf and in your place. And
absolutely.
I think that's so important for us as, as moms, to know that, hey, because our guilt kicks in, right? So let me talk about this thing.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
We're talking about this thing called mom guilt.
But before you even go into it, you have to realize that she's been in this sport for 14 years.
Wow.
I had never missed a meet.
Oh my gosh. So that's huge. Like 14 years and as a gymnast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And never missed a meet, which kudos to you, because I know that you run a business. I know that you also have have your son, another child, and then on top of that, any other responsibilities that you have, just out there to your community and to your clients, things like that.
Speaking gigs.
Yes. So that says a lot in and of itself, right? But to know that when you did have to miss that one, when you knew you couldn't be at that one, to know, because I'm sure you're going crazy. I mean, if I just missed my now second grader, he's about to be in second grade, Alexander. If I just missed like
a play,
a homeroom meeting. I'm like, oh my God, you know. so I get it, you know, I get it. Like, we want to be there for everything
as much as you possibly can. Let me tell you, I had the iPad up, the computer up, because you know that one they were streaming it. So I had it streaming. I had the video. I was recording the TV. Like, I was yelling just like I was there.
I love it.
But after I got over the
how
funk of not being
instrumental was it that you know, that your village, those other parents who knew you couldn't be there, how instrumental was it that they were like, you know what, we gonna root for her, we gonna cheer for her, we're gonna send videos so that we can make sure that she knows she's loved, but also that you know that they got your back, you know?
And it feels good because, you know, when you have a kid that's going off to college, it's an adjustment period for everybody. Like, you know, the baby's leaving the nest. And so you just don't know how they gonna do when they're away. And so, you know, some of the kids are from the Maryland area. So it's beautiful that, you know, she's had the opportunity to go visit some of their homes. They've been able to, you know, try to kind of just get off of campus. And even with my son, even with Jaden, you know, we still carpool. Like, listen, you know, he's been in basketball practice and like, I don't have no shirt, Coach Coleman. And, you know, like, they like, look, I got him. And then it's, you know, it's for games. They stayed at the school until like 7:00 in the afternoon. I'm like, do I need to send money? What do I need? Don't worry about it. I got him. Like, that's my baby. Don't worry about it. You just come to the game, mama. Just get to the game. That's how they tell me. But don't worry about it, mama. Like,
I love it. I love it. And you know, and I can, it's so good. And that's why, you know, I want to spend a little time on what the village looks like. Cause you've already talked about, you know, family, like, you know, immediate, and extended family. But then you also talked about other moms, you know, who have become part of your village because they jumped in and made sure that they were there rooting your daughter on at gymnastics. But then you just talked about the coach, you know, with your son. So, you know, that's not even a family member. That's someone who, you know, is there as almost like a teacher, you know, who's there, who's instructing him, but they're still a role model. There's still somebody that they can look up to or talk to. But now he, you know, he's also stepping in and saying, hey, I got you, don't worry about it. And so, you know, you have all these different figures that can be a part of your village that sometimes, you know, the whole saying of you don't know what you miss until it's gone. Like, you know, so fast forward to now with the pandemic and us all being, you know, physically distant. I won't say socially distant because I can still socialize on this here thing. So,
but you know what? And for me, I will say this. And as I've been able to connect with mompreneurs across the U.S., across the world, you know, it's funny because, you know, it's nothing now for a kid to come running through, you know, the back of a Zoom. And I've even called like Sprint or something like that. And I don't know if you guys noticed that their updated prompter says, because of the midst of COVID-19, our employees are working from home. In the event you hear background noise, just know that we've made accommodation. And I was like, wow. Yeah. So, I mean, that says a lot. And
that says a whole lot. I mean, like, you and I know because we've been work from home, Mom, for a while. And so we know the days where you had to go hide in the closet or the bathroom and be like,
go in there, like, hey, Miss Janelle, how you doing? He peeping now. You see what I'm saying? That's how they do now. They walk in. Who is that? Which client is that? Do they know me?
Right.
So they have their own hashtag within my community. You got hashtag Team Deja, hashtag Team Jaden. So whenever I post about them, the entire profit producer community take them in. you know, and so you say parents, you know, our tribe goes way beyond the immediate family. Like my
Yeah.
client came to my event in Northern Virginia, and my daughter's gym was less than like a mile away. Do you know she got in the car with me to go and see my daughter's
Oh, that is
mock meet?
so good. That's so
So
good.
they, I mean, they absolutely, it's a community.
Yeah.
It's a village.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
But I think it also takes, and I agree. I think, you know, while in some ways COVID has made us really kind of look at, okay, well, wait a minute, since we don't have people physically here, how do we still build that sense of community, you know, even digitally, and getting creative. On our last episode, we talked about, you know, pandemic pods and learning pods, and that's even getting
That's gonna
creative
be
with how you
huge.
build your community, right? But what I like that you said, DeKesha, is really it starts with, and probably always has, starts with us and how we view, you know, who is our quote unquote village, right?
Absolutely.
It's a mindset,
Absolutely.
because not to say that you're just going to let anybody be around your kids, but I think if you have that type of relationship, or you set the tone for that type of relationship with your clients, like, you know, and I had to learn this, especially being you know, once I did have kids and running a business, I had to learn, like, hey, I can't like shush away my kids, or I can't hide them and think that they never gonna pop out, you know, like I don't want nobody to know, you know. I
I
had
got over
to,
that.
yeah, I
I
had
got
to
over
embrace
that
it.
really, yeah, I really fast,
Yeah.
really super fast. And, you know, even to the point of, if I did try and like do this, you know, little
Hmm.
signal, you know, my clients would actually speak. Hey, which one is that? You know, and
Right.
it's like, so after, you
Right.
know,
Who
and
you
then
talking to over there?
that made it look, see, somebody in the bathroom now doing hair. I was like, oh boy, I hope we make it through this episode.
Right. Right. But you
But
know,
no, I mean, it's
that's
truly
real life.
the college student is doing a hair.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, it's COVID-19, girl. We live.
Right,
Real
exactly. It
life.
has definitely made us embrace, you know, things that probably, you know, last year or even year before last, we're like, oh, I would never, you know, never do that or never allow that. And it's like, child, the gloves are off, and it's like, whatever.
I'm just glad that my back is to the wall and the window is closed. So whatever is happening around there.
Exactly, exactly. You know, what are some of the ways, you know, I want to kind of talk about this shifting of sorts of our village, because again, you know, I think that even now we can still figure out ways to include our village, or to identify what we want that to look like. But what are some of the ways that kind of have helped you identify key people who are a part of your village now?
Number one, discernment has
Hmm.
been crucial. Like you can sense the energy,
Yeah.
okay? And another thing too, and this is to be very, very transparent, is we have to allow people to do for us.
Mm,
So
that's so
one of the
good.
things that I notice is that, for an example, if I am at the football field and someone says, you know, if you ever need a ride for Jaden, like don't feel any type of way by you shoot me a message and say, hey, because you never know when you need that.
Right.
There has been a time where I'm like, oh no, I'm good. Like,
Mm,
thank you, but I'm
yeah.
good. And you gotta let that go.
Yeah, that's good.
Like we have to let that go. And I remember a time, and I got really upset. One of his coaches actually bought him cleats. And I got really upset because my immediate defense is, what does he think? I can't afford some cleats?
Right.
Like,
Right.
we don't
Right.
need nobody buying us stuff. Like,
Right.
but he thinks enough about my kids to want to do something for my children. And sometimes you just got to throw your hands up and allow people to do for you, and that's your village.
Right.
So sometimes we push the village away that wants to be there for us because we got this pride, this ego thing.
Yeah. Like we got it all under control, and we don't want to let anybody in. Yeah.
Listen, I done got to the point like his other mama. So my baby mama around the corner. That's his other mother. Can your son come stay with you this weekend? I gotta go speak.
Yeah.
No ego here.
Yeah.
Like he's always welcome. He has his toothbrush, his soap, and everything over at his other mother's house.
Yeah. But it's true though. I mean, I think that's such a good point, because sometimes we do allow our own pride and just desire to want to kind of keep everything close to us, you know, and not let people in. We do allow that to, you know, hinder us from being able to let our village help us and allow them to be there for us. And, you know, I think that's really big with women, particularly, you know, moms particularly, because we have this notion that we're supposed to do it all.
Right.
You know?
Mama bear is supposed to take care of all of
the needs of my kids.
Need no help.
Right.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Right. Because maybe we'll stop, you know, because then we won't be behind the scenes crying and screaming and
in the closet
and upset.
Breaking down.
Right. So yes, I think that's so good. The other thing I like that you said is the fact that somebody does want to do something is not, we should not take that as a negative stereotype. Like, oh, they think that I can't take care of my kids, or, oh, they think that I'm not financially stable, or, oh, they think that I'm not a fit mom. Like, why project negativity out of something that is positive?
It's complimentary, to be honest with you, because it's actually a representation of how you've raised your kids and how your kids are performing character when they are outside of your presence, to make that much of an impact on someone that they are going to, someone wants to do something for them.
Yes.
That's huge.
Yes.
That's huge. And I mean, even when you talk about my oldest, my daughter, like, I can't even tell you how many people finds out that she's in the Northern Virginia area, and it's like, listen, if she ever needs anything, here's the key to my house.
Yeah.
Just tell her to Uber. You know, she's been adopted by an alumni, you know. So again, sometimes they just have to have other outlets, because they might want to have conversations with someone in the village that they may not be comfortable having with mom or dad.
Agreed. You know, I think that's very true. I have a friend whose, you know, son is older, and, you know, he enjoys the relationship that they have and everything, but he is at an age where he's like, you know, I don't really want to talk about this.
Right.
Ew, you know? Right. So I'm like, okay, well, you know, he needs to have like a big brother, like a mentor, or, you know, somebody that he looks up to, that he can take those conversations to and not feel like ew about it, because it's not like a mom-son relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, because my son is like, Mom, I'm not having this conversation with you.
Right. Like,
I'm like, but I'm mom. He's like, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to no.
Exactly. So I think you're so right. You know, and let's talk about the moms who maybe absolutely do not have a village because maybe they've moved away. You know, I know some moms don't live near their family, right? You know, we have, that's another one of the things that has kind of changed the dynamic of villages, is because, you know, back in the day, we used to all live right near each other, everybody on the block, you know, was family. Mm-hmm. And so, but now due to, you know, work situations, you know, just other, you know, different things, different circumstances, people live further away. And so now we have, you know, parents, moms who are living somewhere where they don't have anyone around them. So how does someone who, you know, maybe doesn't have a village right there immediately available to them, how do they, you know, kind of maybe work to find that or establish
relationships?
that?
I think it's relationships, and you have to start making connections. And again, it starts with being open to.
Yeah.
It starts with being open to connections, because even when you are in a place where you don't know a lot of people, we still have this blocker up where we don't want people to know our dirty laundry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have a tendency to keep people at a distance, or because of some maybe internal things, we may not trust people. And so that keeps us at a distance. So we have to start some internal work so that we can allow people to come in.
Right.
And then we have to find ways to build connections, to reach out to people.
And I'll tell you, DeKesha, one of the things that I've noticed that has helped during this coronavirus, this pandemic era is, mom groups on like Facebook and stuff, being able to float in and out of some of those groups and seeing the conversations, contributing to the conversations. That has even helped me from time to time when I'm trying to, when I'm beating my head like this summer, I'm beating my head. Well, what am I gonna do with these kids at home this summer?
And that's why I feel like connections. And then, because even like, listen, only God is going to get us through this 9th grade. Because, especially with a 9th grade male. Okay. Like,
yes, I'm gonna just start sending prayers and vibes to you right now.
I'm like, do you know how to log on to school? No. So just pray for us, okay? So those, listen, and
should I start sending wine now?
Or so if anybody has a prayer group for incoming high school freshmen, y'all tag me, okay? Because I might need to have a session too. I'm like, have you logged in to do your algebra summer homework?
Right.
Oh yeah, I did. So trust and believe. Mom groups, building connections.
Yes, you
finding some friends that are tutors or something, like, because he's gonna need some help with his geometry.
Right.
And his physics or whatever. I know how to build funnels.
But that can literally become your village, because if there's somebody out there who's better at geometry, because let me tell you, I haven't done geometry and I don't know.
Janelle,
but
I build funnels.
You
I
might
can build you a geometry funnel.
That person.
If you want a funnel that goes into an exercise, I will build that for you. But however, anything else is not my forte. And I've been out of school a very long time. But I tell them both. I said, listen, you got Auntie Kesha, you got your sister.
Yeah.
Oh, again, this is why this community is important, because I need to find somebody. Oh, I know Maya. Maya runs this organization. She used to be a teacher. Like, I am using my online network just in case I have to tap into it.
Yep. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I think it's still available to us.
Absolutely.
We just have to be more creative and think outside the box about how we tap into it. It may not always be as in person and physical as it was prior to the pandemic, but Zoom works, phones
I've heard about the pods. I guess they were doing them before, but it was nothing that we ever needed to tap into, because it was not our reality.
Exactly. I think it's really come to the forefront now because of the school situations, increase in numbers in coronavirus. And so it's presenting an option, another option for parents and it can be for learning or it can be for socialization. Obviously, I got little people. So, I'm more concerned about, we got to socialize these kids. And so,
I goes out to you and all the youngins.
I can't be the only playmate, DeKesha.
Listen,
I just can't. So,
God knew in 99 and 2000 when I delivered in 2000. God knew the pandemic was coming, and God knew I needed a 14 and a 20-year-old in the middle of a pandemic.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So
I could not imagine having a little one right here, right now.
it's different, but I think, no matter what age they're at, there's a trade-off, for what their needs are, especially right now, because this is all new territory for all of us.
Yeah.
So, I was listening to my 6-year-old the other day, and he was like, Mom, I really miss, he calls it real school. He said, I really miss real school. And I was like, well, son, you've been going to real school. He was like, no, I mean, with like when I'm in school with my friends.
Like when I'm I leave a house.
Friends, Yeah. And so when he said that, it hit me like, gosh, yeah, we've been at this now for 7 months? I'm like, so yeah, he
still have some more to go. So exactly. We have to keep them in mind
that he probably needs more socialization outside of his work, right?
Yeah. So, and I think it's important. Like one of the things that we have done, again, my family is close, super close. Yeah. And so every other Friday, and sometimes it turns into every Friday, my dad, my sister, come over and, we'll play Uno or, cards or something like that. But that's how we've been able to make it through this time, because we look forward to Friday evening.
Right.
Right. Because I mean, especially when nothing else was open.
What's going on?
And you couldn't go anywhere unless you, like, going to the grocery store was a field trip.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because it was like, that was the highlight of the week. That was the only reason why we might get out the house, maybe. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And so that is,
so that's true.
That was the socialization that we had. I mean, even I went to go visit a girlfriend of mine. She doesn't live too far from me, but we ended up sitting out on the porch, and that's just, and I still like to go see if I can, but if you've got a patio, listen. Yeah. And I went to go see a girlfriend, but I kept my mask on. So, you still need that interaction. It's hard to not get it. But you just have to be safe, and you have to be smart about it. So
exactly.
For those, and I think you were asking, so those that, don't necessarily have the close village, I know temporarily reach out. I mean, there's so many, pockets of people that are literally going through exactly what you're going through. You just have to find them online, and you'd be surprised at how many people are open to receive you in.
Absolutely.
And communicate.
Because we all understand. Like, we all can empathize right now. I think, I mean, I know my empathy meter is at an all-time high, because I get it. Like, I am not going to judge you. I'm not like, well, what's wrong with you? Why can't you get it together? No, I'm going to be like,
if you call me and you like, listen, girl, I'm on the verge of sitting these two out on the back porch and shutting the door and locking it for about 20 seconds, I would not be upset. I understand. You say, I'm gonna let them back in, but just give me 20 seconds.
Right. I have my moments, but I don't follow through. Not yet.
So I get it. Like that sometimes, and you got to think about it.
Yeah.
People have been locked into places, and whether it's small or what, we blessed that it's enough space here that you go upstairs and unless you turn your music on loud, I don't know you I don't know you.
Right.
But
but if your space
are in a small confined space and they're confined for 7 months with 4 people, even 2 people.
Yeah.
And so after a while, it plays on your mental.
Absolutely.
It will play on your mental.
Absolutely.
So you do have to take moments of self-care. You do have to take moments of, mindset reset.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's where, really trying to create, moments of where your village can step in, or, your village can, help relieve you or support you in a way that you can just step away and have a moment for yourself. Maybe they say, hey, bring them online, and I'll get a game together, and that way you can have a moment to step away and, do you have a moment of quiet, or have a moment to read a book, whatever it is. I think it helps,
You should have, if you don't know your neighbors, by now,
Yeah.
you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ain't trying to socialize.
But DeKesha, neighbors not the same as they used to be either now.
Listen,
sometimes the neighbors they turn the light off and close the blinds and act like they not home.
Listen, mine will come and close the garage door if I leave the garage door open. So I told you, my story must be different. I am blessed. I get a phone call and say, listen, you left your garage door open. Right. Garage door. Clearly, I must do it a lot.
So we should clone your neighbors and pass them around to everybody.
And so that's why I say I am blessed. I have to say I am blessed. Our village runs deep. It spreads wide. Yeah. I mean, it not only goes from the immediate family to coaches. Yeah. To neighbors, to friends. Yeah. Like I can't say it any other way. We are absolutely 1000% blessed to have people around us who genuinely care about our well-being. I mean, our well-being, to the point that my neighbor's like, look, you need to get them gutters clean. Don't judge me. I'm working.
That's so good. I love it. But I agree with you. I too feel blessed, and one thing I can say is, going back to what you're saying about reach out, with us when we moved out to Indiana, to Florida, we didn't know anybody, but very quickly we were able to establish relationships with our neighbors. One of my neighbors would help. We would take turns getting the kids off the bus, and it was because I reached out. I started, getting to know our neighbors, asking questions, showing, they would see me outside, get outside. Cause I'm like,
that's what I'm saying though. You have to be open to connect in order to build the relationship.
That's right.
If you walk outside and your face turned up, ain't nobody gonna talk to you. Right. You going to the mailbox and I know.
You are a mess. She said your face turned up, right? Or with garages these days, people get in their car and speed.
You don't need wave when you get in the car. Let me tell you, I might be aging myself. We still toot. Hi, girl. Hey, Mr. Bill. I'm sorry.
Yes. But you're so right, though. It really does take you to, to step outside your box and just, and be welcoming, be open. I think it's all about being open. And that's something that we need to be right now. Like, we have to be, if you want to, be able to have those resources and have people who you can embrace as your village, then you have to be open. So I appreciate you, appreciate you sharing that. What's one last tip that you would give to, a parent, a mompreneur out there who, as we start to, some of us have already gone back to school, some of us are getting ready to go back to school, but as we, enter into the school year, what's one word of advice you want to give to them, as they're trying to just kind of manage everything that might be going on right now between work, running a business, kids, family life, all of that?
So I would sum it up all at one time and say communication. And we were talking about this just a little bit before we actually went live, because both of my kids are going back. My daughter's actually going to campus, even though they have online learning, where she's actually going to campus. And then my son is doing hybrid, where half time on campus and half time virtual learning. And I think communicating the importance of where we are now, we are at a place that we've never seen before. Okay. We don't know how long it's going to last. So we had to have conversations around how to protect yourself. Like, we went to get vitamins for immune boosting, like all my kids, like, but here is why. Like, I'm not just doing this because, you need vitamins. No, here is why. Here's what can happen. And so when you get to school, like, your rules for your room, like, we went and bought cleaning supplies. Like I was telling you earlier, I know my kid, like, she's going to be like, here you go, squirt. Before you sit down. Oh, hold on, here's your mask. I'm sorry, if you sign on her door, if you cannot abide by my rules, you are not into Suite 101. Okay.
I love it.
Like, but it's a matter of, I can honestly say that I feel comfortable enough after having conversations about here are the expectations.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know how long this is going to last.
Yeah.
Jaden, when you go to school, here's kind of what to expect. Keep your distance, keep your mask on. Like, you know what I mean? So, and I mean, he even has his in his book bag. I was going to say purse. Lord, he killed me. In his book bag. So I feel comfortable enough that they are knowledgeable enough about what's going on to understand the importance of their safety as well as others around them. So I think communicating is the number one priority right now amongst families, because it starts right here at your table.
That's right. That's right. And you know, and that's no matter how old your kids are. I don't care if they're 3, 2 and 3, all the way up to, 21. You know, communication, and, kids understand communication. It is a universal language. I always said, even when my kids were smaller than they are now, I would start talking to them, and I said, people look at me crazy, like, they don't know what you say. I'm like, no, but they do. And right. I was like, I'm not raising babies. I'm raising human beings. And so starting the communication early and often was always key. So I love that is your piece of advice to parents out there, is keeping those lines of communication open. And I would just add, not just only for your kids, but for yourself too. Going back to what you said earlier, don't be afraid to tell people what you need, and be okay with it. And ask. That's right. That's
Absolutely.
Right. So DeKesha, you have shared all this wonderful wisdom. So I know people are going to wonder, how can I stay connected with her? So tell the people how they can, how they can find you, how they can stay connected, and how they can hit you up.
Absolutely. All you have to do is go to Facebook, facebook.com/DeKesha, hit the add friend button. I still got some room left, and just let me know that you found me here. And I always like to know, like, your biggest takeaway. So what was your aha moment as you are watching this, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay? So again, I am DeKesha Williams, your virtual COO. Be passionate, be purposeful, but more importantly, be profitable.
I love it. I love it. And she is an amazing mom to 2 fabulous children, who I've had the pleasure of seeing grow and blossom and turn into the almost young adults that they are now. So I'm so excited that I had to have this conversation with you, because you have always been just a woman that I love, admire from a professional and a personal standpoint. We go way back. So, so thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you guys have enjoyed this conversation today. I hope that it has shed some light on maybe just some of the challenges or some of the things that you're trying to decide right now as it relates to your own village, and how to make sure that you have a plan as we enter back into this school year, that you have a plan for yourself and your family, and that you're not just walking into the unknown, right? But make sure you go back, listen to it again if you need to, and just remember, we'll be back here again next week, same time. As I shared on the last episode, for the month of August, I've been sharing with you guys here on Facebook, but remember, we live over on YouTube, so I want you to make sure you go and especially if you like what you've heard today, go and subscribe, and share it with another mom, another mompreneur out there who could use these words to uplift them, empower them, and just help them in their journey of being a mom and a woman in business. So thank you, friends. Remember, it's on your time and your terms, okay? See you again real soon. Until then, take care and be blessed. Bye, guys.